So welcome back to Wine Confidence. I'm David Baer, and we're going to be talking about wine and price in this module. With most consumer goods, we're used to paying more to get higher quality, but sometimes wine's prices seem a little bit out of place in that concept. After all, would you expect a $100 bottle of wine to be 10 times better than a $10 bottle of wine? Wine prices are dictated by a combination of things, including cost of production, cost of overhead, cost of marketing, market demand, and on and on. So when you go to a restaurant, the wine prices will typically be somewhere between 2 to 3 times what you would pay for them in a retail setting. And for older bottles, which are no longer available in wine shops, you can actually expect to pay a premium for having them cared for by the restaurant. But a great wine program has wines for all budgets, and wine directors who not only know about, but they are also usually really excited about sharing those gems on their wine list that represent a great value. So if your budget tells you to spend somewhere between, $40 and $60 a bottle, I guarantee you that spending $120 is not going to deliver you a wine that's 2 to 3 times better. You have to remember that there are just as many bad wines that cost $100 as there are bad wines that cost $15. Now, let's take a look at the prices for wines from a single producer, which will serve sort of as a proxy or a suggestion, an example of how wines are priced and how they're positioned for the market in general. So this is a producer called La Postale. They're French-owned. They're owned by the Marnier family of Grand Marnier fame, and they're located in Chile. Now, they produce a range of wines priced from under $10, that one over on the left, the Casa, all the way up to around $75 or $80, their flagship wine, the Clos Apulta. At the low end of the spectrum, their wines are typically single varieties like Sauvignon Blanc or Carmenere or Merlot, and they're just very pure and crowd-pleasing wines. Now, their flagship wine, the Clos Apulta, is a sophisticated Bordeaux blend that it's intended to be long-lived and express the character of the place where it's made, a concept that the French refer to as terroir. It's a far more distinctive wine, but it's not a wine that is going to instantly resonate with everyone who drinks it. It's actually the two wines on the left, the Casa as well as the Cuvée Alexandre, which represent the bread and butter for this winery's operation. And Cuvée Alexandre wines are typically priced somewhere just under about $30. And those wines, I would say, represent the best value of this winery because they're concentrated, they're expressive, they're full of character, but they're not too expensive. Now, wine industry insiders, those of us who spend our days and nights around wine, we know that the best values for everyday drinking wines can typically be found in the $15 to $30 price range. So don't let price throw you. There are some amazing wines out there that fly way under the radar because their prices aren't, quote unquote, high enough for them to be taken seriously by what I call the wine elite. So those are the wines that I personally treasure the most, and I hope that you're going to discover wines along those lines for yourself as well. All right, we'll see you in the next module where we'll be talking about wine critics and wine criticism.